15 silver florins. He didn't want that. It's 5 for William. 5 for Watt. 5 for Roland, who's going straight home to England.
Straight to the pub for me. Your pie. Brie tart. Fancy cakes with peppermint cream. Oh.
We could do this.
Do it. We've done it, boy. That's silver in your hand.
I mean, we can do this. We can be champions. Give us your coins. Well, now, come on, give me your coins. Right. Right, now that's one for you. And one for you. Which leaves 13. That's 13 for training and outfitting. Now, the tournament in Rouen is in a month from now. In 1 month, we could split a prize bigger than this one. In 1 month, we could be on our way to glory and riches none of us ever dreamed of.
In 1 month, we could be laid in a ditch with Sir Hector. I don't want glory and riches, William. I just want to go home.
Tansy cakes with peppermint cream. Dilled veal balls with squash fritters. I'll take my 5 now.
Boy.
Oh, wait up! You're going the wrong way!
But you can't even joust.
Well, most of it is the guts to take a blow, to strike one. Guts I have. And technique? I have a month to learn that. Besides, the sword. Name a man better with the sword than I.
In the practice ring.
You're not of noble birth.
Well, so we lie. How did the nobles become noble in the first place, huh? They took it at the tip of a sword. I'll do it with a lance.
A blunted lance?
Oh, no matter what, a man can change his stars. And I won't spend the rest of my life as nothing.
That is nothing, and nothing is right where glory will take us.
We're the sons of peasants. Glory and riches and stars are beyond our grasp, but a full stomach, that dream can come true.
If you can take your coins, go to England, eat cake. But if you can't, you come with me. You see, money doesn't matter. Yeah!
Training. When people are interested in having a relationship with the stars, the beauty of night. You guys know from previous videos that I've spoken about pulling your star chart, really looking at it, because it is your blueprint. It is the skills and talents in which you built into your matrix, so that way you can refine and define those aspects if you like. Or you can just come here and party and sleep. It's up to you. You choose. That's why it's a blueprint. You can build or remove. You have the choice. So having that blueprint is important. So I thought I would share a technique I use when I go out with a explorer or treasure hunter and we observe the stars together and we really look at it and build a relationship with those. One of the things that as a tool you can use if you like, just a suggestion, is understand how sound is built into the heavens. Not just light of the stars, but the sound. Some would call them solfeggio frequencies, cymatics. There is actually a tone to it, or if you want to, in a religious sense, an atonement. A frequency, vibration, tone, harmony, rhythm. All these things play a role. And then, of course, you have the planets that provide influence And when you pull your star chart from your birthday and other relevant information, so in the spirit of echo, in this particular practice of using sound to navigate in your experiment, you build a mathematical relationship with your environment, right? Because even though people think that astrology is not real and a soft science, so to speak, it actually uses mathematics as a way to communicate aspects that work in harmony, that are dynamic in nature, so to speak. And each of these have levels and degrees associated to them with this particular ancient art in which we are discussing here of echo. So when we overlay our blueprint, our star chart, we should know which planets are doing what in which house, because each one of these provides a combination and encryption. And this is the part which we find of value using this type of magic, right? So just a recap for those who are new to this type of science or this type of magic, there are a trinity of aspects built into astrology, as above, so below. We've discussed this before. But there is the cardinal, the fixed, and the mutable, right? You may have heard these before. So the cardinal being the dynamic activity in your blueprint, the fixed being your concrete and purposeful aspects, right? And joy would be that fleeting moment of the in-between pause in which we are discussing as well. Okay? Experience and perspective actually grow within this. And then there is the mutable. And the mutable are the aspects of yourself that are moving and that are flexible. Okay? Not rigid or stable in certain aspects. Depends on which words you want to use to describe this trinity of aspects. And those are built mathematically. When the planets appear in your chart, they are actually used in another process, which is another density level that you want to put onto it. When you're doing the echo experiment, you have to build, each level has its own flavor and profile and system. So with that matrix system, you can actually go in and you can organize it so you know what you're looking for when you need it, and then you know what level you need to play on when you're dealing with aspects of the world that are within yourself and outside of yourself. This is part of the tuning in process. So if you have a lot of conjunction in your chart, that is at 0 degrees. So mathematics is going to play a role here. Opposition's 180 degrees, right? Square is 90 degrees, and that's where you find conflict within your chart. People know this. Okay, you know this, I'm sure. The trine aspects is 120 degrees, and those are the ones that we talk about here as well, trine, trinity, and that's where you get, stimulation. How things become favorable to you, interests, things that you find of interest in your life, on your path, the trines in your chart will, this kind of gives you an idea of what a profession would be of great reward for you, so to speak, right? Because these provide abilities. And then there's the sextile, which is 60 degrees. But we also have to incorporate the elements themselves of earth, air, water, and fire. And you'll notice that there is a numbering system to these as well, okay? So when you build in earth, air, water, and fire, the earth becomes your solidity and your function, the water your emotion, the air your intellect and reason, okay? Fire your will and your passion, okay? Each one of these are organized in your body, air in the mind, water in the gut, the body being earth, and the fire being your heart, or your will and your desire being your right hand and your left hand. So you have doorways, portals, and caves to explore. Okay? Depth can be brought in to your practice. Spiritual humor. So the stars move in harmony as one fabric, as one piece, hence in the analogy of echo and imagination, the walls of the cave. And the planets change position, so they're the transient within the permanent nature of the fabric of our reality. To provide an echo of imagination, let us imagine that you and I are looking at the stars, and the first thing we discover is the position of the moon. And we discuss that, of course, and how behavior plays a role in her beauty. And we go into sound and the sine wave itself. We face north and we look at what I lovingly call Little Bear, Polaris, being at the tip of its tail. And as we scroll down, we see the moon right next to Pisces, if you will. And when we follow the zodiac, which are 12 constellations, maintaining our vector within the 12 houses of the zodiac, in which we know so much about, that are part of the 88 constellations, like 88 keys on a piano, that actually move like a wave around you, up and down. You will notice that the moon will be at the pinnacle or apex, but that will be at one inflection point in the sine wave where the curve begins to take shape and transform into a different direction. So if we put our arms out north into Polaris and we see the moon is beneath us, so we move our hands downward to point at the moon, right? In this particular example, because we're putting the moon in the north, so we can explain this easier, is that'll be the inflection point when the sine wave starts to turn the opposite direction. So as we move to the right, towards the east, your hands will begin to move from the downward position, will begin to move up, following the constellations as you're rotating right. Okay, rotation here. And we're rotating right, you'll start seeing the planets filling in the line in which your arms are now moving up and to the right. And then by the time you get directly south, you're at the pinnacle, or your hands are all the way to the top, opposite Pisces, where the moon is in this example, right? So the apex on the other side would be Virgo of the sine wave. And then as you continually move right, you're in rotation, your hands come downward towards the west, attempting to complete our full cycle and circle of 360 degrees. And as they come downward towards the west, they reach the bottom again where the moon is. So north in this example will be the bottom pinnacle, and south, when you turn directly south, it'll be at the very top. And that's the 12 signs of the zodiac, how sound, like a sound wave, sine wave, moves along and records our reality.
Atlas! 3 weeks from now, I will be harvesting my crops. Imagine where you will be, and it will be so. Hold the line. Stay with me. If you find yourself alone, riding in green fields with the sun on your face, do not be troubled, for you are in Elysium, and you're already we doing live? Echoes in eternity.